धीमहि धियो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Om Namo Narayanaya, revered Prahraj ka Ishta Pranamataji, revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj, and dear sisters and brothers. It gives me great joy to extend a warm and cordial welcome to each and every one of you to this special Youth Day program. We are especially blessed to have as our honored guest His Holiness Revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj, head of the Ramakrishna Center of South Africa, Johannesburg. Revered Maharaj conducts online satsangs and has been delivering lectures at national and international seminars. Revered Maharaj recently launched the Sri Sarada Devi Women's Power Hour, aimed to raise the profile of women to make a difference in society. Maharaj promotes Vedanta through weekly online lectures to an international audience on the Bhagavad Gita, the Viveka Chudamani, Science of Worship, Jnana Yoga from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, and on the texts Sri Ramakrishna, the Great Master. Revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj will now address us on the topic Navigating the Complexities of Being a Teenager during 2022.
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Going down at the feet of the Lord, my special pranams to Revered Mataji and my namaskar to all the members of Sharda Math, Eshaville, Durban, South Africa. My special greetings, best wishes to all the youths of South Africa on this special day. We are all gathered here to celebrate the Youth Day of South Africa, to remember the sacrifices of all the school children, the youths who fought against the apartheid regime, and they sacrificed their life. Now, today I have been asked to speak on a special subject concerned to the youth. And what is that? Navigating the complexities of being a teenager or youth in the year 2022. The same can be described as confronting the challenges facing youth in this year. Now, the problems of the youth is not only during 2022, but it is the same all through. It has compounded or made more complex because of the COVID, the pandemic. So let us see what are the challenges the youth are facing now after the pandemic. The important thing is depression, stress, suicide. Then the other things are bullying at school and via social media, low self-esteem, substance abuse. Since COVID, many are used to being at home They don't feel stimulated to do anything. They sit in front of the TV or use mobile phone or computers all the day. No socializing, or not even they are assisting their parents or their elders in any house chores or any work. So they are wasting their lives. These are all some of the problems. Let us try to analyze them emotionally, scientifically, biologically, psychologically, in all the ways. What is the reason for all these things? And also, we shall try to find out the remedies for the above challenges. Now, before entering into the subject, see, we have now seen all the troubles, problems. Now they will claim, the youths will claim, oh, we have all this COVID problem. So we have got into this habits mode. So now, just to the youths are justifying, giving so many reasons. So I want to take you through one story from the Mahabharata, which will give us a wonderful perspective. What is that beautiful story of Krishna and Karna? In Mahabharata, that is the war, the Kurukshetra war. Karna, you know Karna, and Lord Krishna. There was a conversation. Karna is telling to Krishna, he is asking Lord Krishna, oh Lord Krishna, my mother left me the moment I was born. Is it my fault that I was born in as an illegitimate child? I did not get the education from the Guru Dronacharya. He didn't give me the training in the arms. I was considered, though I was a born Kshatriya, a warrior, I was considered a non-Kshatriya, the son of a charioteer. Then Parashurama taught me, because I told him a lie that I was a Brahmana. He taught me the archery and other art of war. But also, after coming to know the truth, he cursed me to forget everything since I was a Kshatriya. Now, another time, a cow was accidentally hit by my arrow, and the owner of the cow cursed me for no fault of mine. I was disgraced in the Swayamvara of Draupadi. Even my own mother, Kunti, she told me the truth that I was her son only to save her other son, the Pandavas. Whatever I received was through Duryodhana, the chief of Kaurava. Though he was a villain, a bad guy, he was the one who gave me everything. So whatever I received was through Duryodhana's charity. So how am I wrong in taking the wrong side, the villain side? So am I not justified in going to the side of Duryodhana or Kaurava, the wrong side? Because all the circumstances deceived me, cheated me. So to which Lord Krishna replies, O Karna, do you know what's my birth? I was born in a jail. Death was waiting for me even before my birth. The night I was born, I was separated from my parents, biological parents. From my childhood, I have been growing amongst the cowherds. At least, you grew up hearing the noise of swords, chariots, horses, bow and arrows. I got only cowherds, cowshed, the dung of the cow, and multiple attempts on my life even before I could walk. No army, no education. I could hear people say that I am the reason for all the problems to their community or the village. Now, when you all, Karna, including all of you, the Pandavas, the Kauravas, were being appreciated for your valor by your teachers, I had not even received any education. I was just grazing the cows. I only joined Gurukula of Rishi Sandipani only after the age of 16. Now, you are all married to the girl of your choices. Krishna is telling that he couldn't get the girl he loved, rather ended up marrying those who wanted to wanted me are the ones he rescued, Lord Krishna rescued from demons. Now, Krishna is telling I had to move my whole community from the banks of Yamuna so to the far off seashore in Gujarat, Dwaraka, to save them from Jarasandha, another cruel king. Now, at that time, I was called a coward for running away. Now, in this war, if Duryodhana, in this Kurukshetra war, Duryodhana wins the war, you, Karna, will get a lot of credit. What do I get if Yudhishthira Dharmaraya wins the war? The Pandavas will get the credit. Only the blame of the war and all related problems am I going to get. Now, after telling all these difficulties, Lord Krishna is telling, remember Karna, remember one thing, everybody has challenges in life, whether it is COVID or without COVID. Everybody in this world, not one single person can he boldly tell that I don't have any problem in my life. So Lord Krishna is telling, everybody has challenges in life. Life is not fair to anybody. Duryodhana, the villain, the bad guy, has also a lot of unfairness in life. And so has Yudhishthira, the chief of the Pandavas. But what is right? What is righteousness? Know that dharma, righteousness, you know that in your mind. You know what your conscience is telling. No matter how much unfairness we get, how many times we were disgraced, how many times we were denied what was due to us, what is important is how you react at that time. Stop whining, Karna. As if Lord Krishna is telling all of us, the youth, stop whining for all the problems of COVID or any other thing, circumstances, parents, school, bullying, or any other difficulties. Stop whining, Karna. Life's unfairness does not give you a license to walk the wrong path. Always remember, life may be tough at a point, but destiny is not created by the shoes we wear, but by the steps we take. What a wonderful story, isn't it? Did you not enjoy this story? Wonderful. So Krishna has given us the message that because we have got difficulty, because we have got the COVID, that is not the reason to commit suicide, to get into alcohol or getting addicted to drugs and other things. But in spite of that, many people have shown us that you can take the right step, go forward in life, make this life meaningful. Do not waste this life. As Swami Vivekananda has told, everyone has to die. Nobody can live here permanently. But they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. Even before you commit the suicide, the way you live, or even before we die, the way we are living, it shows that we are more dead than alive, wasting our life. Recently, I read an article. There was an interview done by the journalist who was interviewed, a lady. And the interviewer, that is the journalist, asked her, can you name 3 persons who are very great according to you or in this life? That woman told, yes, I can name. The first one is the mother of my daughter. Second, the wife of my husband. Third, the daughter of my father. Now the interviewer, the journalist, fell unconscious. So we are all self-centered, so selfish. We are concerned only about our selfishness, enjoyment, sensual enjoyment, nothing else. We don't know sharing. We have not been taught. We are becoming so selfish. That is the root of all problems. So now, as Lord Krishna told, difficulties in life are not the reason, excuses that you can take the wrong path or try to escape or run away, being cowards. So now, let us go through some of the positive aspects of life by which we may get some strength. Now, let me take you through another fact of science. The fact that jellyfish, jellyfish has survived for 650 million years. Can you imagine? Many animals have become extinct, dinosaurs and other things. The fact that jellyfish has survived for 650 million years despite not having brains gives hope to many people. Do not worry. If the jellyfish can survive for 650 million years without any brains, then with all your difficulties and all your troubles, you too can survive, you can do wonderful things. Life is not about what you couldn't do so far. But what is life then? Life is about what you can still do. Wait and do not give up. Now, let me take you through the lives of so many great people of this wonderful country, South Africa, the father of this nation, the great Nelson Mandela. He tells, I was in the prison for 27 years. 27 years, the major portion, the best portion of his life is gone. But did he whine? Did he commit suicide? Did he take to substance? No. He fought against injustice. He succeeded wonderfully. And he became the president of this great nation and did wonderful things, isn't it? Let us go through some other lives too. Tony Blair, former Prime Minister of England, he tells, my teacher used to call me a failure. But didn't he become a great Prime Minister of England, Tony Blair? Then what about Steve Jobs? Who is Steve Jobs? You youths are more aware of it. He was the founder of Apple Inc., the company, the great company Apple. And what is he telling? Steve Jobs used to tell in his earlier days, he was he was left alone. He grew up as an orphan, though he had parents. I used to sleep on the floors in friends' rooms. I used to return the Coke bottles for food and money. Such was the poverty and difficulty. And I used to go to get free food from the ISKCON temple and other different temples in USA. Hindu temples, they give free food, isn't it? I used to go for free food. That was the poverty. So that was the difficulty I had to face. But didn't Steve Jobs become the world famous entrepreneur of this great company? Didn't he achieve something in life in spite of all the difficulty? Then what about other great people? Let us see. Lionel Messi. He tells, I used to serve tea at a shop to support my football training. And with that difficulty, he became the greatest of the football player. Bill Gates, he tells, didn't even complete university education. Then what about the President of India, the great President of India, Abdul Kalam? He was from the poor fisherman community in Rameshwaram. With great difficulty, got his education. He wanted to become a pilot, fighter pilot. He was rejected, but he became one of the greatest scientists in the Space Research Organization of India. He was called the father of Indian missiles. And then he came to become one of the greatest presidents of India. Then are there some more people? Mitchell Jordan. He tells, during my secondary school, I was dropped from school basketball team, but he became one of the greatest basketball player. Sachin Tendulkar, one of the greatest Indian cricketer. He has done so many records which people cannot break now. But he tells, I failed in my 8th grade. Could they achieve so many things and come up in life in spite of all the difficulties? Did they take up to all these wrong decisions, committing suicide or depression or taking up drugs or bullying others? Nothing. They achieved something. So, life is not about what you couldn't do so far, it's about what you can still do. Wait and don't ever give up. Try, try, try again. Now, what are we to learn from this? The external circumstances, external problems, more than those, the internal strength of your mind, the weaknesses of the mind, which is internal, are the main reasons for your failures. So to make our inner heart strong, we have to grow from inside out, not outside in. Now, let me give you an example. You may have the best shoes, boots. You may have the best road to walk. But if you have, see, if there are sharp stones outside, if you are having best shoes and best road, you can wade through that. But you have the sharp stones, small stones inside your shoes. Then you may have the best shoes and the best road. You can't even keep 4 steps. Why is it? So, the internal weaknesses are worrisome and troublesome than the external circumstances. So, the difficulties may be many, but what is your attitude towards life? What's your goal of life? What are your weaknesses? Convert that into strength, then you can achieve anything. So that is very, very important, which we have to note here. So this will give us a lot of strength, isn't it? Now, some more thoughts about this, which will motivate us. Salt has its origin in the water and also destruction in water and in water too. So also our success in life has also its origin in our thoughts. Destruction also in our thought. So have the right attitude. Now, just like we youths, how do we think? How do we think everything negatively? We don't take the positive aspects of life. Now the mother is asking the son. Now the son is telling the mother. What is he telling? Son is telling the mother, I don't study because I'm depressed. To which mother is asking him, okay, my child, but why are you depressed? Now the answer of the son is, because I don't study. Could you catch it? I don't study because I'm depressed, told the son. Then the mom asked, okay, but why are you depressed? Because I don't study. This is our negative approach. Now, there is another funny saying about the youths. You ask them, why do they get addicted to drugs and alcohol? The youth told, when you drink alcohol, you get high. When you read, you get educated. Now the youth is telling, when you drink alcohol while reading, you get highly educated. So these are the funny attitude of the youth, present day youth, taking everything negatively. See, I will also take you through another negative aspect of our life. So the students, the professor, the science professor wanted to teach them, or the personality development teacher wanted to teach them some lesson. So he gave a practical demonstration. What was that? A bucket of water and 1 bucket of liquor, alcohol, was placed in front of the donkey. Donkey drinks water and it leaves the place. It doesn't touch the alcohol. Now the teacher asks the students, what do you learn from this? He thought that the students would tell that water is good for health, alcohol is bad, so donkey refused it. But do you know what was the negative answer of the students? They take only the negative things. Students' answer was, one who does not drink liquor is a donkey. So, not reaching the goal is not a disgrace. Not reaching the goal is not a disgrace, but not having goal is a disgrace. Swami Vivekananda tells, if a person who has if a person who has an ideal in life, goal in life, an ideal, if he commits 10,000 mistakes, a person without any ideal or goal in life may commit 50,000 mistakes. What is better? To commit 10,000 mistakes or 50,000 mistakes? So to commit 10,000 mistakes is better than committing 50,000 or 1 million mistakes. So if a person has a goal or as an ideal in life, if he commits 10,000 mistakes, a person without an ideal or without a goal may commit 10,000 or more mistakes. So it is better to have a goal, better to have the right attitude, better to have the ideal in your life. That's what Swami Vivekananda tells. Now the question arises, how to be motivated all the time? How to get motivated all the time? Let me take you through another important event. In the jungle, which animal is the biggest? Elephant. Tallest? Giraffe. Wisest? Fox. Cunning? Fox. Fastest? Cheetah. Yet, are any of these the king of the jungle? The biggest? The strongest? Elephant. The tallest? Giraffe. Wisest? Fox. Fastest? Cheetah. But the lion is the king of the jungle. Even without any of these qualities. Why is it? Because lion is courageous. It has self-confidence. Bold. It's bold. Walks with confidence. Dares anything. And is never afraid. The lion believes he is unstoppable. The lion is a risk taker. The lion believes in any animal is food for him. The lion believes any opportunity is worth giving a try. And it never lets it slip from his hands. So what is that we get to learn from the lion? All you need is courage. All you need is the will to try. All you need is the faith to believe that it is possible. Nothing is impossible. All you need is to believe in yourself, that you can do anything and everything in this life. It is time now, whether it is COVID or not, any difficult situation, it is time now for you. This is the time when you are youth, you can do it. It is time to bring out the lion in all of you. It is time to bring the lion, the courageous lion in all of us. We are the children of immortality, says Swami Vivekananda. We are the children of God. We are the children of immortality. We are the children of the Emperor of the Lord Almighty of this universe. There is nothing impossible for us in this world to achieve. Everything is possible. To think that it is impossible or to think that we are weak is a sin. Strength is life, weakness is death. So Vivekananda tells after this, the remedy for weakness is not to brood over weakness, but to think of strength. Isn't it a wonderful thing that keeps us motivated? Now you have to get up, stop all these things, watching TV, watching mobile, and going to that lazy mode. Come out, achieve something in your life. Happy people are always happy, not because everything is right in their life. They are happy because their attitude towards everything is right. Now, many other good things we have to note in our life. Come out of this stupor or laziness or complacency. What did one of the great thinkers, the leaders, Martin Luther King, the African leader in America who fought against slavery, fought against the discrimination between the Africans and the American whites, Martin Luther King. What does he tell? It's a great inspiration to all of us. So thrilling. Martin Luther King is telling, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Don't stop. Don't stop in your life. Whatever you do, you have to keep moving. What a great statement, Martin Luther King's. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. Never give up. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Swami Vivekananda tells, never say no. Never say I cannot, for you are infinite. Even time and space are as nothing compared to your true nature, your own nature, Satchit Ananda, infinite bliss, absolute, infinite consciousness, absolute, infinite knowledge, absolute, infinite existence, absolute. You can do anything and everything. You are almighty, says Swami Vivekananda. What about that Napoleon Bonaparte of France? Tell, if you build an army of 100 lions and their leader is a dog, in any fight, the lions will die like a dog. All the lions will die like a dog if the leader is a dog. But if you have built an army of 100 dogs and their leader is a lion, all dogs will fight like a lion. So make your leader a lion, then all of you, whether you are weak or anything, you can fight like a lion. Now, why are we getting into difficult mode? What are the difficult situations? So much of difficulties in our life. When God solves your problems, you have faith in His abilities, in God's abilities. But when God doesn't solve your problems, that means you are in difficulty. Know that God has faith in your abilities. Now, God changes sand into pearl. How is the pearl formed inside the shell of that mollusk? When the sand of the sea enters, because of the irritation, it secretes some chemicals and the pearl is formed. So God changes sand into pearls. What is happening? Irritation, problem for that shell. And coal into diamond. Diamond is nothing but carbon. Due to intense pressure underneath the earth, intense pressure of the earth, the coal is converted, the carbon is converted into diamond. And what about caterpillars? They're so ugly, caterpillars. They converted into beautiful butterflies. They have to make the pupa stay there. So much of austerity, trouble, using time and pressure. God is working on you to change you into divine, or God Himself. So difficulties are not to be taken as something which has come to suppress you, but to make you strong, make you great, make you better, to come out of all those things. But what is our nature? Especially the youths, we make all positives into negatives. How? I'll take you through a small incident. A married couple were walking through a garden when suddenly a dog ran towards them. Now both of them knew it will bite them. Now the husband wanted to protect the wife. He lifted his wife to let the dog bite him rather than his sweetheart. He lifted the wife so that the dog will bite him and go away so that he can save his wife. Then the dog stopped before them, unsure what to do, barked a little, and it ran away. Now the husband slowly put his wife down, expecting a hug and a few kind words of gratitude from her. But what did his wife shout at him? She started shouting and screaming at the husband. I have seen people throwing stones and bricks at the dogs. This is the first time I see someone trying to throw his wife at the mad dog. So what is the moral? No one else can misunderstand a husband better than a wife. So likewise, no one else can misunderstand the realities of the life in a negative way. Though there are so many positive things, instead of seeing all the blessings, We take only the negative things. So that is to be given up. That is not the truth. Take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. So always be ready to take risks in your life. Now, let us take up problems one by one and see why do we face all these problems. Now, why youths are getting into this negative mode? What is that? We have to study, we have to find out the reason. Let us make a scientific analysis of this. What is that? Now, COVID has hit adults and senior citizens and everybody, and not only one country, but it is global. All the countries are troubled. But the effects of COVID has hit hard the youths. Why is it? Because the adolescent stage, the adolescent life is very vulnerable. So let us find out the scientific reason. If you know the scientific reason, then you can find out the solution. If you come to analyze the problem, then you can solve it also easily. What is it? What is our neurology telling about it? What is our neuroscience telling about it? Why only the youths are facing all this problem? Though COVID problem has come to the adults, the young, especially the children, and to the middle-aged and to the old, but why are only youths having this problem? Youngsters and adolescents learn more from peer-to-peer interaction. Note it, they learn more from peer-to-peer interaction. Without interaction with their friends, true learning has stopped. Because in the COVID, you couldn't meet your friends, peers. You couldn't meet your near and dear ones. Were isolated. So that is one of the great reason youngsters and adolescents learn more from this is a research study. So they learn more from peer-to-peer interaction. Without interaction in the COVID, with their friends, true learning has stopped. So they don't want to go further studies because there is no peer-to-peer interaction. Youth and adolescent brains work very differently than adults' brains. That part of the brain which is responsible for making decisions, critical thinking skills, is not very well developed in the youths. For this part of the brain to develop, a lot of life experience and age is needed, which the youths cannot get until they get older. So it is a type of catch-22 situation. So the youth need to learn through their peers, friends, and adults like parents, teachers, and those in whom they have faith, the counselors, and especially the satsanga, the people who have moved forward in spiritual life who are called gurus. The way they learn best is through stimulating, not stressful condition. Because of this stressful condition, now the major problem is for the youths. The part of the brain for youth, lower center, which is responsible for reacting, is more active. So there are different part of the brain. That part of the brain, the lower part where we react to everything. So that is more active than the part of the brain, higher center, that is responsible for critical thinking skills. The discrimination, the discriminative power, what is it called? Viveka. That is higher power, the intelligence, the dhi, which we pray in the Gayatri Mantra, Dhiyo yo naha prachodayat. Let the dhi be inspired by the Lord to all of us. So this is the reason. Because the higher thinking, the critical thinking, the discriminative power in the youths are not well developed. But the lower thing of the brain, that is responsible for reacting to any circumstances, that is active more. And the higher center that is responsible for critical thinking skills, discriminative power, is not developed. in the youth. This is the reason the youth get stressed. Did you come to know why they get into that mode of stress? Only the youth and the younger ones, the adolescent, and they not only that, they will get into more stress and depression and react to things in a drastic way. What is that? Committing suicide and all the other problems, going to substance. They react to that because of this problem. They are not able to think about the future. They live more in the present moment, in the sense, not that they are very mindful, awareness, no, but they are living in the present moment means not at all thinking about the consequence of their action, because they are incapable of doing so. The brain has not developed, but the lower portion of the brain is developed, which can react, but the critical thinking and the discriminative faculty is not developed. So consequence of their actions they cannot understand. They will just do. Whenever they are in stress, they get into problem, they commit suicide, all those things, it happens because they can't think properly. The brain, even though developed, has not made proper connection between the conscious thinking part and the emotional part of the brain. So now, when these are the problems, you should also have, then we can find out the remedy. Teen brains, the young brains may be more vulnerable to stress because the teen brains is still developing. Teens may respond to stress differently than adults, which could lead to stress related mental disorders such as anxiety and depression. So now another aspect is teen need more sleep than children and adults. Now many mental disorders, the psychological problem, the disorders may begin to appear during adolescence. Ongoing changes in the brain, along with physical, emotional, and social changes, can make teen vulnerable to mental health problems. All the big changes in the brains is experiencing may explain why the youths, the adolescents, is a time when many mental disorders such as schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, and eating disorders can emerge. There are some positive aspects of the teenage brain, and what is that? The teenage brain is ready to learn and adapt. The teen brain has lot of plasticity, that is elasticity. It is flexible, it can learn, it can adapt, which means it can change, which can adapt and respond to its environment. Challenging academics or mental activities, exercise, and creative activities such as art, music, sculpting can help the brain mature and learn. So if you introduce your children to these activities, what is that? Different mental exercises, challenging academics, learning new things, exercise, physical exercise, yoga, meditation, creative activities such as art, music can help the brain mature for the youth. So this is the remedy. This is the time to help teens to develop love for learning. They have to be provided with stimulating and yet relaxing environment to flourish. So you should not create more stress. The teenage brain is resilient. That is the extra positive thing which we can make use of. The adults, the seniors, the teachers, the parents. Although adolescence is vulnerable time for the brain and for the teenagers in general, most teens go on to become healthy adults. Some changes in the brain during this important phase of development actually may help protect against long-term mental disorders. Parents and educators and counselors play an important role in providing stimulating and yet relaxing environment. So what are the neurological and neuroscientific solutions? Healthy nutritional habits along with physical exercise, yoga, pranayama, meditation, practice mindfulness, healthy peer-to-peer interactions, cognitive understanding of the benefits of mindfulness, working towards a greater cause, service, karma yoga, helping the poor, that also will help them come out of all these problems of drugs, all these problems of suicide and stress and depression, working towards a greater cause, service, serving the poor, serving the nation, developing attitude of gratitude. How is that? Prayer to God. So these are all the remedies. Isn't this wonderful? So now we have come to know what are the scientific reason behind this problem of the youth, and also the solution. Now we will take up very important aspect, the suicide, the tendency in the youth to commit suicide, the problems which our present day parents are facing, that seniors are facing, that youths are very vulnerable to suicide. Now, let me take you through the reasons and the solutions for this greatest of problem of the youth. The way you repeatedly think, the way you repeatedly think affects the nature of your brain. The person who has come to the point of committing suicide has brought repeatedly a set of negative thoughts to their mind, and that he has brought the mind to such a state where the person is thinking that I have no hope in life and death is better than life. So, why did somebody reach that state? It was all the result of a power called repeated contemplation, repeated thinking. That's why in the beginning I told you positive thoughts, positive attitude is very, very important to overcome all these things. So, the cause of suicide is, why do somebody reach that lower state? It was all the result of the power called repeated contemplation. So, how do you prevent the person committing that act of suicide? Give them opposite and strong thoughts, thoughts of strength, positive thoughts. There are so many problems in life, so many reversals which we can avoid. To be happy, positive, it's not that nobody will die in our family or no problems will come to us, but to be happy means to accept the reality of life for what it is. We generally, as parents and teachers, we teach people, the students or the young ones, to escape reality. You teach people to see, instead, you teach them to see the good and also accept the reality as it is. Teach them how to face failures, not only successes. If you can explain to that person that you are miserable in life, maybe for 3 reasons, but the important thing is you have 100 reasons to be happy. A saint saw a young guy wanted to commit suicide. He stopped him and asked him, "What are you doing?" Then that young boy told, "Babaji, I want to end my life." "Why?" "I have nothing in life. God has given me nothing. Now I'm so poor, I don't have anything. Everything is lost, so I want to commit suicide." Then that Swamiji or that saint asked him, "Okay, I will arrange 2.5 millions. Will you now give up the idea of suicide?" "Oh, yes." "Will you arrange it?" "Yes. But you have to give something in return." "What is that?" "You have to give your 2 eyes." "No, no, highly impossible." "See, I told you, you have to give 2 eyes, which you are now going to destroy. You wanted to commit suicide and kill your body, and now you are telling you can't give it." "Okay, I will settle down. I will give you." "We'll settle down to 5 million. Give me your 2 kidneys." "No, I'm not going to." "Okay, you can give your liver." "No, not interested." So the saint went on adding, on his bodily parts. Now he told, go on calculating what is the cost of your bodily parts. It's more than 15 million in value. So, in your physical body itself, you have the value of more than 50 million. And you wanted to destroy your body, which was so costly. And you are saying that God has not given you anything. So now, what is the saint telling us? Remind these people, the young people, of the blessings they have. And they have more than a million reasons to be happy and to be alive. I used to hear in the villages long back when I lived in India, the old ladies there used to tell that you have seen this pandemic now. They have seen so many pandemics. Every 60 years there will be pandemic. They have seen cholera, they have seen plague, they have seen influenza, malaria. People would die like vermins, drop down dead. And the old ladies used to tell our grannies, that is those in the villages, they used to take all those young children because people were dying because of all this pandemic. See, those old ladies were uneducated, no facilities, no medical facilities, poverty, everything. But they would take the children and the younger ones to the forest or to the mountains, go out of the village, save the lives of those themselves and the children. And after the pandemic was gone, they used to come back. This was narrated by the old ladies in the village. 70, 80 years back, this has happened. They were telling me. So those old ladies were old, they didn't have any luxuries, they were poor, they were uneducated, no medical facilities, but they have penchant. They have that enthusiasm to live. They didn't go to commit suicide even in spite of having all the problems. But they wanted to save the lives of those children. They went to the forest, they went to the mountains, and then they came back. See the enthusiasm for life. What are we doing? What is our condition? So that is very, very important here. So what should we now see here is we should show them what is the speciality in you, what is the strength in you, what are the positive aspects of you, the youths. Modern day science is telling that just IQ will not be sufficient. Higher than intelligent quotient IQ is EQ, emotional quotient. But latest discovery is more than EQ, it is SQ, that is spiritual quotient. Spiritual intelligence is the highest and ultimate intelligence. That is what we are praying in Gayatri Mantra. I told you, Dhyo Yona Prachodayat. What is IQ? Intelligent quotient. It will teach you how to play the game of life. What is emotional quotient? Emotional quotient, it teaches you how to play the game of life in changed circumstances with changed strategies. What is spiritual quotient? It teaches you, spiritual quotient teaches you why to play this game of life. Why have we come here? What is the reason we are here? Have we just come here to eat, drink, and some enjoyments and then die? Is that all to this life? What is the meaning of this life? So spiritual quotient teaches you why should you live? What is the reason of your coming here? So if you come to know the goal of your life, the highest goal of your life, then you will not waste your life in this manner. You will not go to commit suicide. Why are we committing suicide? Go on seeing stock market crash, loss of money. Why do people commit suicide? What are the reasons? Money loss, breakup in relationship, loss in business. If you analyze all the problems, then you will come to know, if you simplify that, you will find that the main reason is person has got too much of suffering and pain. So much of suffering and pain and misery is that there is not even a smallest percentage of happiness. Even least trace of happiness is not there in their life. So what is your original nature, the real nature of you? Sat Chit Ananda, infinite existence, infinite knowledge, infinite bliss. Now, when Ananda or bliss, which is your true nature, which is the nature of the man becomes zero. You don't have happiness. It has gone the least, not even the least trace. The person gives up the aspect of Sat, meaning he wants to give up his existence. Then only he will think of committing suicide. Without Ananda, without happiness, he cannot exist, he cannot live. Whoever is living in this world has some traces of happiness that is keeping him alive. Without this trace of Ananda, happiness, we cannot live. But in reality, you are the owner, you have the infinite joy within you. So if somebody is thinking of committing suicide, then they have lost all happiness. So first thing you do is give them some nice thing, some hope in their life. First give them food to eat. That will change their, some prasad and good food to eat, stomach full. That was what Holy Mother Sarada Devi used to do. Whenever who used to come in great difficulty, she would feed them nicely. And what will happen? The mind, which is at the level of emotions and all the problems, worrying, will come down to the physical plane. Then you can handle it. Give them some hope, give them some joy, little joy. Then they will stop, or they will give up the idea of committing suicide. Give them some optimism, bring some hope to their life, bring some light. So these are the way by which we can stop the younger ones from taking that drastic steps. You should give some ray of hope to them. Now, if she's an old lady who wants to commit suicide, give her the hope that what about that child? You have that young child. What is the mistake that it has done? What will happen to that child? Then immediately the old lady will give up the idea of suicide because she had got some hope in that small child. So that is a way by which the great people have shown in the emotional way to show them the hope, the strength which is in you. Give them the happiness. Show them the positive way. Now, we shall take up very important thing. What is that? Tough times. In the last youth day, I had given this message. Tough times do not last long, but tough people do. Swami Vivekananda tells man, human being, is just a speck, a dust of microscopic dust in the vast immensity of space in this universe. But given the power of reasoning and logic and intelligence, he can comprehend the whole universe, though he is a speck, a dust in this universe. But though he is so small, man has so much of strength in him. Sitting on this earth, he can control the whole universe. He has this power of logic, power of intelligence, the Viveka. He can think. With this intelligence, he can control any planet. So that is what Swami Vivekananda tells about the great strength we have. So you have two choices now. You can make yourself miserable or you can make yourself happy. Decide what do you want. Come out of all this stupor. Now, I will take you through one important research done by an American psychologist, which will help us a lot to get that wonderful attitude in us, positive attitude in us. How to cultivate this positive attitude? Yes, let us go through that research. Now, this great American psychologist, his name was Lacey Hall. He took up the help of 6,000 people in USA and another 6,000 people in Canada. He gave them diaries separately and asked them to write in every page every day. He did this experiment for 6 years. Every page, you make them two divisions. One side you write all that positive things which has happened in your life. Then other side, all that negative things which has come to your life. 6 years he did this experiment with 6,000 people who had come as volunteers in USA and another 6,000 people in Canada. And he took that information, collected information after 6 years. He collected it and computerized it. And what was the result? He got He got an award for that. And what was that? 92% of the influences on us are negative. Everyone. 92% of the influences on us, all of us are negative. To get that result, we all know that what is there so great in that. And to find out that result, he got award. No, that is not the thing why he got a award. Let us go forward and see. He found that even though we are in the influences of 92% of the negative things in our life, he found in spite of this, so many people become great. Why? So many people fail. Why? Those who gave into 92%. See, 92% of the negative things of your life, they were swept away. They were failures. Those who saw 8%, in spite of all the 92% negatives, there is only 8% positive things in your life. Those who caught hold of that, those who saw this 8% of the positive thing in their life, they became successful and great. So, all of you youths, though there may be negative things, whether it is COVID or the father of COVID, do not worry. Take up that 8% of that positive aspect in your life, you can become great. That's what the research proves. It is not just hearsay, it's not some superstition, but it is research. So, with one last incident, I'm going to close my talk here. And what is that? One husband, a man, he is narrating his story. He's telling, dear friends, as I sat in the park after my morning walk, that husband is telling his wife came and slumped next to him. She had completed her 30-minute jog. They chatted for a while. The wife told to the husband that she's not happy in life. The husband looked up at her in sheer disbelief, since she seemed to have the best of everything in the life. So he asked her, why do you think so? I don't know. Everyone tells that I have everything I needed in my life, but I'm not happy, told the wife. Then the husband also questioned himself. Am I happy? He thought, no. My inner voice told, no. Now, that was an eye-opener for that husband. He began his quest to understand the real cause of his unhappiness. He couldn't find one. He dug deeper, read articles, spoke to life coaches, but nothing made sense. At last, he went to his doctor and he got the answer. That lady doctor, she put all the doubts at rest. So the person that husband is telling, he implemented those teachings of the doctor, and now he is a happier person. And what are the things which that doctor told? That lady doctor told, she told there are 4 hormones which determine a human happiness. What are they? First one is endorphins, second one is dopamine, third one is serotonin, the fourth one is oxytocin. It's important we understand these hormones, as we need all four of them to stay happy. Let's look at the first hormone, the endorphins. When we exercise, the body releases endorphins. These hormones help the body cope with pain of exercising. We then enjoy exercising because these endorphins will make us happy when released. Laughter is another good way of generating endorphins. We need not spend always exercising, but with exercise, we should read some funny stuff and get our every day's dose of endorphins. So this is the first hormone. The second hormone is dopamine. In our journey of life, we accomplish many little and big tasks. It releases various levels of dopamine when we get appreciated for our work. At the office or at the home, we feel accomplished and good. That is because it releases dopamine. This also explains why most housewives are unhappy, since they rarely get acknowledged or appreciated for their work. Once we join work, we buy a car, a house, the latest gadgets, we need a new house, so forth. In each instant, it releases dopamine and we become happy. Now, do we realize why we become happy when we go to the shopping? The same reason dopamine is released. The third hormone is serotonin is released. So when we act in a way that it benefits others, karma yoga, helping others, serving the poor, seeing God in them, when we transcend ourselves and give back to others or to nature or to the society, then it releases serotonin in our brain. Even providing useful information on the internet, like writing information blogs, answering people's question, helping poor, helping people in whatever way, that generates serotonin. This is because we will use our precious time to help other people via whatever way, our energies, our intellect. If we help other people, then it will release this wonderful hormone. The final hormone is oxytocin, is released when we become close to other people, comfort other people, then we become spiritual. When we think of God, seeing God in everybody, take care of them, that it releases oxytocin. So it's simple. We have to exercise every day. What is the remedy for all the problems of the youth? We have to, not only youth, for everybody. We have to exercise every day, get endorphins. We have to accomplish little goals and get dopamine. We need to be nice to others to get serotonin. And finally, we have to be spiritual, meditating, and seeing God in everybody. We have to serve them. Then oxytocin, it will make us all happy. When we are happy, we can deal with our challenges and problems better. Now we can understand why we need these wonderful things of spirituality, the SQ. So, to make your children or the teens more happy day by day and get out of all these problems, motivate him to exercise and play, go to the ground, mix with friends, peers, counsel them, take out the stress from their life, appreciate your child for his small or big achievements. Dopamine is released. Inculcate sharing habits through to your child. Serotonin is released. Give them satsanga, give them spirituality. You go on complaining, no time, no time. That is the reason why your child has come to this. So take them to satsangs, take them to the temples, let them meditate, think of God, give that Ramayana and Mahabharata and the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita. Then all the problems can be solved. Have a wonderful, happy life. So now, finally, with this wonderful, positive way of ending today's talk, I'll pray to the Almighty, to the Lord, to Ramakrishna and Mother Sarada Devi to give the right attitude, and also the parents and the elders and the teachers to create a right atmosphere for the youth to come up and develop their brain and be happy in their life and achieve a lot. Thank you. Namaste. Om Namo Narayanaya.
Om Namo Narayanaya. On behalf of Revered Mataji, we thank Revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj for his most enlightening discourse. Thank you, dear sisters and brothers, for joining us for this special Youth Day program. Please note that the Sarada Devi Ashram has weekly online satsangs on Sundays. The ashram also conducts many humanitarian outreach programs to support those affected by floods and other disasters. Vegetables, fruits, and bread are distributed every week, and grocery hampers are distributed monthly. You are welcome to contribute towards this noble cause. May the Holy Trinity bless us all with love, devotion, peace, and prosperity. Om Namo Narayanaya.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ तत्सत् जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय महामाई की जय स्वामी जी महाराज की जय गंगा मात की जय महावीर स्वामी जी की जय सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय पार्वती पतये हर हर महा